Hello Libra, and welcome to your November reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with a card from my intuitive deck. So what is it Libra needs to know here? Okay. I'm kind of feeling like Libra, there's kind of a need for you to kind of unclench or to let go. To let go of the schedule, to let go of the routine, to let go of your disciplined and focused nature. It's important for you to bend your own personal rules a little bit. It's important for you to kind of push yourself into I don't know why, I kind of want to tell you to go be more chaotic. I don't know why I'm wanting to say that. Go be more chaotic, Libra. Although I don't know that you're going to, throw your whole life apart or anything. I kind of feel like Libra needs the chaos. Maybe things have been a little too contained lately, and you need the space to just run and jump and play and to kind of tap into that curious part of you that's curious about life and curious about, well, what if I tried this? And well, what if I did that? And well, what if I did take this idea that's been sitting in my mind forever and actually did something about it? And what if I started to prioritize the things that I actually got excited about? And what if? And I think Libra is at a time right now where it's just, I need to let go of who I think I am. And I think that's a huge thing with the South Node in your sign. Absolutely huge. And with the North Node coming into a conjunction with Chiron, I mean, technically they're in a loose conjunction right now over in Aries. That conjunction is going to be happening all through the beginning of the year. It's very slow, okay, but it's happening nonetheless. And there is a lot of healing around our identities and who we want to become. And with the South Node in your sign, it's going to be very, very hard for you to really hang on to a semblance of who you think you are. And the more and more you try to define yourself, the more I kind of feel like Libra gets hit with an instant karma a lot. It's like when you start telling yourself something, you're immediately going to be pushed back with some information that shows that that's not true. That's one of the ways that Libra always stays in that middle ground. It's the way that Libra stays balanced. Once you assert yourself and have a strong opinion, you're immediately going to be shown a truth in someone else's opposing opinion. And it's going to open your mind that much more. It's one thing I love about Libra is its capability of seeing things from so many different angles. But it does make it hard for a Libra to truly assert itself, especially by way of identity. And any semblance of, I just think it's time for Libra to let go of this notion of identity altogether. And saying, for example, I like to use the introvert example or an extrovert. I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert, right? These are labels and identities that we put ourselves into. And even identifying even as a Zodiac sign sometimes can be very limiting as well. But just saying, you know what, I'm all of it. I am an introvert and I'm an extrovert. I might be a Libra, but I also have all other 11 signs represented in my chart. I am all of everything. And the more and more you release this notion, I think the more free you become. And the more free you become, the more you channel your creativity. And right now, I think Libra does need creativity for some reason. Maybe that's the fact that Venus is coming into your sign, right? Coming back into rulership. It's very strong. By the way, it scores really, really high in terms of its strengths. Venus's strength is very strong. And Venus is creative. And because Libra is the masculine expression of Venus, there is a lot of doing the creative things. Let's see what the animal spirit says. That was a big mouthful for that one little card. I don't know why I was feeling so inspired to say so much, but let's see what else. Learn from the past. Beautiful. It's always a nice card to get. I mean, don't underestimate how wise you are. Don't underestimate how much knowledge you have acquired. When you do finally start embracing chaos and embracing curiosity, and you allow yourself to play with your life and even just this notion of who you are, when you start playing with those things, you start to realize that you're never really going to falter because you always have yourself. And you've always been able to lean on yourself. You've always been able to sustain yourself. I think Libra is one of those signs where if they don't get caught up in relationships, they can be seriously productive on their own. So whether you're in a relationship or not, you will always have yourself to fall back on. And learning from your past successes and learning from all the ways that you've caught yourself in the past. And there really isn't going to be any such thing as failure for you because you're just living your life. And you can't fail if you're just living your life. I am seeing like a flame, but it feels quiet. It feels like the little pilot light on like a gas stove type of thing. It's like this little thing that hasn't quite been ignited yet. And I think Libra is ready. You're ready for that ignition. Well, there you go. It's time to take action. Yeah, I think it is. I think Libra, it's time to stop thinking about stuff, and it's time to stop playing around with it in your heart and mulling it around in your brain. It's time to like actually implement. Do those creative things. And creative is such a blanket, generic term. You get to fill in whatever that means for you. What does creative mean? Is it writing your book? Is it starting to learn yoga? Is it going back to the gym? Is it painting? Is it something at the office? Is it a new marketing initiative? Like, are you really good with sales? Like, is it a new sales like, what is your creativity? What does that mean? And finding a way to really put that at the forefront of your priority list. And I do think creativity should be prioritized right now. Absolutely. Especially as we have Mercury coming into Sagittarius on the 10th. And then later on in the month, and I'll probably talk a lot more about this through the December readings too, the Sun and Mars coming into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about freedom and being free. And a lot of times it's about being free from yourself. Sometimes it's about being free from certain circumstances. But I think a lot of these creative inklings and these little niggling feelings that you've been getting, they are here to set you free, set you on the path toward financial freedom, on the path toward time freedom, which also has a lot to do with financials as well. And for you, we've got a lot of second house, eighth house activation, right? Scorpio, Taurus. So it makes sense that you're thinking about money right now. And maybe one of the reasons why you have been suppressing your creative things is because you're like, well, I have no idea how to make money with it. Even though you could probably go on TikTok right now and find like 1 million people that are making money doing exactly the same thing that you want to do. So I don't think you should be using money as an excuse or not understanding how to make money with something as an excuse, because nowadays I think you can make money doing pretty much anything. It's just a matter of, are you courageous enough to actually do it? Or are you scared because of what you may discover about yourself in that process? Because once you start taking yourself out of the box, a lot of things come out of the box, right? But I don't think you can stay in there anymore. I think in a way, Libra is suffocating in that box, suffocating with your routine, suffocating with staying so disciplined and so focused. Now, this is a really, really different message from what I'm saying to everybody else. This is very unique for the month. But it does feel like I like the Seven of Cups. I like the confusion. I like the not knowing. And you may hate it. Okay, you may hate it because you're like, well, I can't make up my mind. I can't figure it out. I can't make a choice. I don't know. But I think the only reason, see, we even have the card of Leo here, which is all about self-expression and creativity. Like, this is what's trying to come out. And there's a part of you that seems to have blocked it off. And you've blocked it off because you don't know how it fits into your life, or you don't know how to make time for it, or you don't know how you can afford to do it, or like there's all these like extraneous things that you think about, and it's like very circuitous, right? It's not really getting to the crux of the issue, that all you have to do is just do it. That's really the issue, is you're just not doing it. You're not sitting down, you're not focusing, you're not dedicating your time to it. You're not prioritizing it any way. And it seems to be way more complicated than it needs to be. But I like that you're lost with it, because when we get lost, I think we find a lot of answers to questions we didn't even ask. And you may be going through a pretty profound period of self-discovery right now, but not in like a deep shadow work, deep healing, analyzing your childhood, psychoanalysis type stuff. It's not deep like that. I think what you're doing is you're finding a place in life. Because your place in life is changing. It does feel like it's changing. Some of you might be considering big career changes, or moving to a new city, or you might be making changes in a relationship or something like that. And no, you don't have any answers at all. I don't think the universe wants you to have answers. You don't need to ask questions, and you don't need to have answers. You just, like I say, you can learn from the past. Like, how many things did you not have answers to, and yet you still just pushed forward and you still were fine? You don't need any answers, and you don't even need to ask any questions. You just start taking action towards the things that make your heart sing. It sounds simple, I know. In real life, it's very hard to do that. And that's when we normally start justifying and rationalizing everything away. You know, we all have all these things that get in the way, but we know we're just letting ourselves get in the way. But the chaos is good. The chaos is good. It stirs things up. It gets your heart pumping a little bit. Yeah, Three of Swords. Okay, the Three of Swords has come out, I think, in almost every single reading this month. So, and I think it actually came out a lot last month too. Let me tell you what I've been saying about the Three of Swords, because it's speaking to me in a very unique way this month. So, it feels like there was a wound. Now, if you've watched my other signs, I'm so sorry. You've probably heard me say this a million times. It feels like there was a wound that was initially inflicted upon you, right? So someone else did something to you. They said something, they did something, they put you in a certain scenario that really traumatized you. It was a deep wound, a deep cut. And throughout the course of your life, whether you realize it or not, now some of you who have done a lot of the healing work, this is in your awareness, but you've been perpetuating that pattern over and over and over. And you've been perpetuating circumstances over and over and over. And which means that initial wound happened once, but all the other cuts were somewhat self-inflicted. And the action, now this is something I'm saying to everyone too, the action is really where the healing is. The healing is not done in the meditations. I mean, you can still meditate and do all the shadow work and all that's lovely and great, but that's not really that's not what Chiron and North Node and Aries are demanding. They're demanding us to take action right now in order to heal and move on. Because the more action we take, the more progress we see, the more our past dissolves and the more these patterns dissolve. This is a very pattern-oriented card. The past betrayals, the divorces, the abuse, the narcissism, like all the things that we've been subjected to, we actually can heal from those things. And it is found in the work with the Eight of Coins. Now, this to me feels like playtime. Like this feels like the chaos. It's like the chaos of creation. It's like someone asks you, what are you doing all this for? And the Seven of Cups says, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing all this for. I just feel like I need to do it. I feel like this is a method to my madness right now. Why are you writing that book? Why are you cooking that food? Why are you out in the garden? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like, I don't know. It's just something I need to be doing right now. And you may not even have an end game with any of this. It's not like all this creative stuff is coming in just so you can get money. I don't know that that's the real intention. It's not just to get money. Now, you may be thinking about money and how to monetize something, but I don't think that's really why you're doing it. You're doing it because your soul is calling you to do it. And that's it. That's really the only reason. You're doing it because it's just something you must do, because you're feeling compelled to do it. And this may not be very organized. It may be all over the place. You may have a little bit going on here and a little bit going on there and a little bit over here and there and there and there. You may have 6 different things going on. And everyone is like, well, are you ever going to finish anything? And you're probably like, you know what? It doesn't even matter if I finish. Who cares if I finish? It doesn't, like, the finishing of anything is completely pointless. Now, I'm not talking about like at your work or your job, okay? I'm talking about like what you do in your free time with your own free will, what you do with your own free resources, okay? It's not necessarily about the outcome and results for Libra right now. I think it's going to be very hard for Libra to be thinking about that, because that's not the point. Feels like this is the healing part of it, and this is Libra's process in breaking down their own walls. And it's always hard for us as people to acknowledge that we actually do have walls, that we actually do have a stubbornness, that we actually are stuck. We as human beings, we always pride ourselves as being open-minded, right? Because that's such a good quality, right? We're either very open-minded or we have a narrow focus toward a goal, and we're all like, we have these specific traits and whatnot, but we don't ever like to be called stubborn necessarily. We don't like to be called stuck. We don't like to be referred to as having walls up, being inaccessible, right? These are not ideal qualities. And I think Libra, you're coming in to realize like, wow, I do have my walls up. I do have my guards up. I do have my fear. I have my refrain. I have my restrictions, and I don't want it anymore. Because I think those restrictions have limited your growth. They've limited your life experience. They've limited your bank accounts. They've limited your success in relationships. And those limitations may sour your life experience a little bit. And learning from the past means you have to do things a little differently this time. This to me feels like Libra processing. You're processing. I cannot tell you how much information you are going to receive by engaging in your creative projects. You're sitting down, painting a picture, you're sculpting something, you're out in the garden, you're in the kitchen, whatever the case is. I don't know what you do for creative fun, okay? But you're doing your thing, and then you get hit like a hammer to the head with some realization of like, oh my gosh, I really do this. I really am like this. I really do limit myself in this way. Now, this is not just about the epiphanies, keep in mind. The epiphanies are going to come, but the point of this is to change. That's what Scorpio season is about. That's what Sagittarius season is about. It's about imploding and integrating. These are painful things. We integrate our pain, we implode, and then we are set free. And this is Libra's freedom process. Okay? You are changing. You become someone else. Your creative projects are the vehicle through which you change. If that's what you really want. I mean, I'm telling you, you can stay dedicated and focused on your original plan, and that's fine. If that is your creative outlet, then consider yourself lucky. Like if you have, let's say, a career path and you are like super, super dedicated to that, I'm not saying you can't be creative in that same avenue. If you're lucky, your creative path and your professional and monetary and livelihood path, they can merge. And when they merge, that kind of catapults you forward. That's not going to be the case for everyone though, right? Like not everyone feels that creative inspiration with their jobs, and that's fine. It can go both ways. I often see my 9 of coins as being the phoenix rising from the ashes. Yeah, 8 of cups. You may feel a bit of a heaviness through November. Now, when I say heaviness, I don't necessarily mean that there's going to be tons of emotional heftiness. It may not be like that. I mean, some of you may be. It is Scorpio season after all. There can be deep emotions. We do have Saturn now officially moving direct in Pisces. Okay, so we have a lot of water in the chart. We'll have a little less as Mercury eventually comes into Sagittarius on the 10th. But we are going to be processing our deep emotions, but I don't think this is really an emotionally based decision-making process. This is really coming from a higher plane, if you will. I can't tell you, these cards are just so in line with just what so many people are going through. A lot of the different zodiac signs have similar cards. This, to me, 9 of coins is an all-encompassing self-fulfillment, feeling fulfilled with your life. Now, there's often a lot of giving that happens with this 9 of coins. So as much as this creative stuff is for you, it does not mean that other people do not benefit, because a lot of other people benefit from what you do and what you create. All right. This is a beautiful place of flow, and there is inflow and outflow. There is no rigidity in the 9 of coins at all. You're not stuck. So that means the flow is happening. You're creative. You have that creative inspiration. You work your magic, you alchemize with temperance, and then it goes out into the world and it makes a difference. There is a lot of giving. There is a lot of grace. Okay? This process will seem like it is just for you, but please know how many other people benefit. To me, this is also about leaving a legacy, not so much as the 10 of coins, but still there is a legacy that is left with the 9 of coins. And understanding that what it is you're doing is making room for other people to do the same. It's making room for people to heal, making room for people to find fulfillment. That this, to me, feels like one of the greatest services to humanity that you can possibly give. I think the more and more conscious and healed and successful people become. Now, when I say successful, you can imply financial success, but that does not necessarily have anything to do with what I'm talking about. The more and more successful you become, the more room there is for others to become successful. The more healed you become, the more and more room there is for other people to heal. Okay? So this is a great service that you're doing, even though you can't see the other end of it necessarily. The 8 of Cups, and I stressed this a lot last month, the 8 of Cups is a very difficult card. It suggests that you are leaving a comfort zone behind. And when I say a comfort zone, I don't just mean like your comfy bed, okay? I mean this rigidity, this stubbornness, this way you've lived your life, this way you've seen the world, this way you've viewed yourself, this identity that you've held on to, this narrative that you have about your life and about what's possible for your life and the things that you think you have to do or you don't have to do or whatever. All of these things are part of that comfort zone of the 8 of Cups. And this is why I say, it's not really about having questions or having answers. It's about none of those things. It's more about just putting one foot in front of the other and allowing yourself allowing you to carry yourself into an unknown territory that is completely unexplored for you, and a place where you don't really have a lot of control. That devil card, it tells me that you've been trying to hang on to control. Now, there's a lot of themes of control that come through with Scorpio and also Taurus, okay? A lot of control and domination. Now, sometimes control and domination goes inward, where we try to control ourselves and have self-control. But if that does not manifest positively, it directs outward, and we try to control everyone else or every single circumstance, which is impossible to do. And it can make life very, very hard. Okay? But right now, I think with the self-control, this is a matter of self-control. It's a matter of... It's different. It's like not having control in terms of staying rigid and so narrow, but having control in that you can put yourself in a very uncomfortable circumstance and put yourself in a really unknown place in life and still remain calm with temperance and still remain faithful. And remain believing and remain trusting. To trust, and that's what you've learned from the past. That you can trust and you can remain faithful, and that more often than not, it's going to work out fine. And that more often than not, you'll survive because you have every single one of you up to this point. You've survived everything. So the likelihood of you not surviving is slim to none. Okay, so... I don't know, it feels eye-opening and it feels extremely liberating, but you are going to hit up against a lot of stuff too. You're going to hit up against a lot of your pride. You're going to hit up against a lot of your fear, a lot of your rigidity, and you're even going to question whether or not you're just being I'm trying to think of an example to kind of illustrate my point. Like, let's say you just started dating someone and you want to remain open to the possibility, but it feels a little scary. So you started dating someone, but maybe you're really not feeling it. And you're like, well, I don't know if I'm not feeling it because it's my trauma response. I don't know if I'm not feeling it because I really just don't like this person, or it's not a good match. Maybe I should keep giving it a chance, and you go back and forth and back and forth. I think not second guessing yourself in that type of an instance and just say, you know what, I'm just not feeling it. Like, it's just not right. It's not. And just allowing it to be your truth and not worrying about if it's a trauma response, not worrying about if it's you overthinking it, or, oh, well, maybe they're an avoidant and I'm an anxious attachment style and this and that. And you're going through all the psychology of everything you've learned and you're trying to figure it out and trying to figure out the mixed messages and whatnot. Instead of doing any of that, just say, you know what, it's just not for me. And I think having that type of freedom is the point of all of this. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new, we're going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all the cards I'm about to pull out. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. The link for that will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. So let's take a look here at the elephant spirit. What else does Libra need to know here? Seven of Swords. Nine of Swords. Okay. Five of Cups. For the environment. Okay. King of Coins. The Lovers. Queen of Coins. Okay. Interesting. Starting with the Seven of Cups. Beautiful. Empress with the Page of Swords. I told you I felt really good about that 7 of Cups. I like that place. 6 of Cups. 8 of Wands. Knight of Swords. 3 of Cups. For the King of Wands. 4 of Wands. The Queen of Cups. 6 of Coins. The Devil. The Ace of Swords. Another 7 of Cups. Lovers. Nine of Wands again. And the Fool. 10 of Coins. Beautiful. King of Swords. And a Chariot. The Star. And it's another 7 of Swords. Another 5 of Cups. Ace of Wands. Ace of Cups. A lot of aces for you this month. 4 of Coins. There's the stubbornness for sure. Death. 9 of Swords. King of Coins again. All right, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much, Libra. I love you. Have a great month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.